Hi everybody, this is Nancy from NatureWorks. I'm in my courtyard at home and I wanted to tell you what I'm going to cut and why I'm going to cut it. This is my quite dirty bird bath and these are Aster laevis, the straight species, just finishing blooming. This was so many bees were on this, and this is a self-sown New England aster. Neither of these did I plant. And I don't want any more of them in the courtyard. I want them in the back where I have lots of invasive plants. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this, which is incredibly exhausting on my hands, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sickle, which I just couldn't garden without it at this point, and I'm just going to cut these stems right down. I leave a little bit down there basically because wildlife likes to hang out in there, and I really like to have some shelter for them, and the stubs don't hurt anything. These are not that hollow of a stem, so you can leave lots of stems up that are hollow, but I'm going to show you that down the hill. So, you know, all these asters, it takes like 2 minutes or a minute and a half to cut them all down. Ta-da! Now, you can see that I pinched them here. And look at how much they grew. I pinched them in the middle of June. This is New England aster, and this is Aster laevis. I pinched it here in June, and I measured. It grew 32 to 36 inches after June. I could have pinched it in early June and again at the end of June, but who knew the summer was going to be so wet? So that's what the sickle is for. It's just so handy to cut stuff down. I'm leaving the sedum. Oh, that's a sunflower stalk. I'm leaving the sedum because I just like the way it ages. But you see, I revealed an allium over there. And then I'm leaving this, which is Eupatorium solestinum, now Conoclinum solestinum, because it hasn't fluffed up yet. Once the seed pods get white and fluffy, I'll cut them off and just throw them back there in hopes that it will seed in back there. So it's a very casual way of doing it. Without this, it would take forever. So follow me. We'll go down and see my fall fruiting raspberries. I still have dahlias. I still have calendulas, which I discovered look just as pretty on the back as they do on the top. Look at that. Look at the back of every single one of them. They're so pretty. I was like, I love my calendulas. I just deadheaded them in order to get them this way. Same with the snapdragons. I've got some funiculum, the anise, the fennel in here. That's coming along. And I have some Tithonias. Look at this, Mom. This is unnamed. I call this my frilly peach daisy, but look at how pretty that one is. This is a stock bed. This is a stock bed of all Tracy's treasure phlox that someday I'll dig up and sell. And then over here, you have to jump over the giant ironweed. Look at the size of this. This is Vernonia novaborensis. Now, I mean, you know, it's like ludicrous how tall it is. And I'm waiting for the seed pods to fluff up. I don't need any more ironweed here. This all came from throwing seeds in here from a plant that I had put in down there. So, but I'm leaving this up until the seed pods get fluffy and are ready to disperse. This is an example of how fluffy they need to be in order to really work. So that one I could save and disperse. So I leave those up, and then when I do cut them down, I leave stalks on them. Technically, you'd only need to leave stalks at about 24 inches, but this has just happened to be where I cut. And I did this with a sickle, okay? That's how strong this is. And this has a pithy stem that tunnel nesting bees will go into in the spring to lay their eggs. So the rule now, and I just learned this, is it's not that they nest over the winter the first year. You leave them up, and then in the spring, you let the ironweed grow around the stalks. And then what happens is they lay their eggs and nest next year. So it's completely different from anything I ever used to do in terms of cleanup. Now down here, I have more New England asters and some goldenrod. Now I do not want any more New England asters down here. And if you cut them off at this stage, they'll fluff right up. So they're all going in the back. And then this is Aster ericoides, a really pretty native aster, which I have to admit, all came from seed I collected at NatureWorks. Once I realized how pretty it was and how many bees liked it. So I've been spreading it around my yard ever since. Now this doesn't have hollow stems, so there's no need to leave the stems up. But I just take my sickle and I just grab it like this, boom, done. And you see how these are all fluffy? So I'll take these and I'll throw them back there where I've got a lot of things I'm trying to outcompete the invasives. And I've been doing this for a long, long time. So it really does work. And so what I've revealed under here is spring stuff. Columbine, there's irises, there's little mini baby sister irises. This is May Queen Shasta Daisy, which I moved the seed in here from where it landed in the grass. This is comfrey, which I've been trying to dig out and move to the back to put different things in. But I save all my comfrey foliage and I use it just as mulch. I just lay it down. I leave up my my Siberian iris stalks because I like to harvest them for Christmas arrangements. But I found out the hard way that I have to cut the foliage down before winter because mice nest in it, or voles, and they eat out the crown. And this is Monarda fistulosa, our native bee balm, the lavender one. You can see more over there. I want as much of this as I can possibly get. It is one of the best pollinator plants I know of. So I don't cut it down. I leave the seeds standing for the birds, and I have lots of self-sown babies growing in the raised beds that I lift constantly and move them around. That's my variegated red twig dogwood that as soon as the leaves drop off, I will harvest them for our winter pots. So you can see it's sort of like you have to make a decision about every plant. Do I want to leave the stems up for the tunnel nesting bees? Do I have too many seeds so I have to get them out of the garden before they drop? Do I want more of the same plant like the Monarda? Do I want to leave stuff up for creatures to hang out in, or are creatures going to eat the inside of a plant out and hurt it over the winter? So rather than just going, cut it all down and haul it all away, you've got to sort of think about it a little differently if you're trying to create a happy habitat in your yard, which is what I'm doing. And if Diane, if you turn around, you can see here, those are all my blueberry bushes. That's my button bush here. Look at the orbs on that. Behind it is the secret blueberry patch with 9 blueberries. Look at that, it's so cool. Coming up through the back hydrangea was Jerusalem artichokes. This is Sanguisorba canadensis, which is this native burnet that's still blooming. With Vernonia, a lot of it's self-sown. As you can see, a lot of these seeds haven't puffed out either. So as soon as they puff out. So what I do in the evening, this time of day, I walk around with a basket if the seeds are ready. Like those are ready in there. That's a white ironweed. I cut them, and then the white one I want more of, so I'll let it drop. But the purple ones, I'll collect them and move them to a new bed. You can do this too. So it's a new way of looking at gardening. And so, listen to what I'm saying. Ask us a lot of questions. We'll continue to talk about this. And hopefully it'll help you increase the habitat value of your yard. So this is Nancy from NatureWorks saying, see you at the garden center. Thanks for visiting my yard. Bye-bye.